I woke up gripping the steering wheel so hard my fingers were numb. My car was still moving, slowly, coasting down a road I didn't recognize. The clock said 4:26 a.m., but the last thing I remembered was passing 1:13. 3 hours. Gone. My GPS screen was pure static, flashing a message I'd never seen before. No route, no road, no signal. The interior lights flickered like someone was tapping the roof from the outside. Somewhere behind me an engine growled, low, steady, patient. I swallowed hard, whispering to myself, I only remember one thing. Taking an exit that shouldn't have been there. And then the rearview mirror filled with light. A pair of headlights. My license plate. My car. Following me. I've been doing long-haul delivery routes for almost a decade now. Most nights are the same. Endless interstate, soft hum of the engine, and the kind of darkness that makes you forget the world exists outside your headlights. I'm 33, and night driving is pretty much second nature. Monotony doesn't bother me anymore. If anything, it comforts me. There's something strangely peaceful about an empty highway at 1 a.m. Nothing ahead but reflectors and fog. That night I was wrapping up a brutal double shift. Exhausted, yeah, but not dangerously so. Just tired enough to want my own bed. The air was cool, the kind that fogs lightly on the windshield's edges. The radio kept cutting in and out with static, but that's normal on the rural stretches. Out there, even the emergency broadcast signal fades. I never leave the main highway on my return trips. Same road every night, same markers, same bends in the asphalt I could trace with my eyes closed. But I was running later than usual, almost 3 a.m., and every minute felt heavier than the last. I was thinking about a hot shower when I noticed something strange. A brand new exit sign, bright green, reflective, clean, freshly bolted into the ground, exit 47B, Miller Ridge Road. I frowned. I knew every exit on this route. There was no 47B, not last week, not last month, not ever. I glanced at my GPS, nothing. Blank. No detour. No new road. No construction alerts. The map didn't show it at all. Still, I told myself signs get updated. Roads get renamed. Mistakes happen. And without thinking too hard about it, I took the exit. For a full minute, I argued with myself. I was tired. Too tired. And the small text beneath exit 47B, Miller Ridge Road, claimed, shorter route, 12 minutes saved. 12 minutes felt like heaven at 3 in the morning. GPS still showed nothing, the blue arrow floating on empty grey space, but I convinced myself it was just outdated map data. Rural areas get updated late. I knew that better than anyone. So I drifted right. The moment my tires touched the ramp, something felt wrong. The pavement changed texture. Smoother, almost too smooth, like fresh asphalt without any grooves or wear. The fog thickened instantly, swallowing my high beams in a pale white wall. There were no reflectors on the sides, no guardrails. Just a narrow strip of road suspended in empty whiteness. The ramp kept going, and going. Longer than any exit should be. My radio fizzled into a pulsing static, then cut off completely. The screen flickered once and died. GPS froze. The arrow locked in place, refusing to move even as I kept driving. Okay, I muttered to myself, gripping the wheel harder than I meant to. This is stupid. Just turn around at the bottom. Except there was no bottom. The ramp simply leveled out into a silent, unmarked two-lane road stretching forward and backward into the fog. No streetlights, no mile markers, no houses, not even power lines. Everything felt dead. I was just about to pull over and attempt a U-turn when my mirror caught light. Headlights, a pair of bright white beams materializing out of the fog behind me. Approaching fast. Too fast. Instinct kicked in. I pressed the gas and kept driving. The farther I drove, the more the road felt manufactured. Not new, not freshly paved, constructed. Like someone had built it yesterday and polished it smooth before anyone touched it. No cracks, no gravel, no faded paint. The fog thinned just enough for me to make out the trees lining the sides. Tall, narrow pines bending inward unnaturally, their branches weaving together above the asphalt like an archway, as if the entire forest was leaning in to watch me. I rolled my window down an inch. Nothing, not crickets, not wind, not even the hum of distant highways. A silence so heavy it felt like pressure on my eardrums. Then I noticed the first mile marker. 0.3. A few minutes later, another. 0.3. Then another. At first I thought fatigue was messing with me, but they were identical. Same placement, same tilt, same rust patterns. My dashboard clock caught my eye. 1:13 a.m. It had been 1:13 for I don't know how long. The moon hadn't moved either, hovering in the same crack between the trees, like it was nailed in place. I tried not to look in the rearview mirror, but the lights behind me never faded, never changed distance. And when I slowed, they slowed. When I sped up, they matched me perfectly. Finally, with my chest tightening, I forced myself to glance. My stomach dropped. The car behind me was my car. Same make, same model, same faded silver paint, same dent on the rear bumper from a delivery drop 2 months ago, same missing front right hubcap. It wasn't tailgating me. It was mirroring me. Down to the inch. I finally snapped. My pulse was hammering, palms sweating, nerves shot to hell, but I couldn't keep pretending this was normal. I pulled over onto the shoulder, gravel crackling under my tires. For the first time since entering that exit, the other car reacted. It slowed, coasted, then stopped exactly 20 yards behind me. Headlights stayed on, bright, perfect, dead-centered on my rear bumper. I grabbed my flashlight, stepped out, legs shaky but forcing myself to move. The fog parted just enough to reveal the outline of the vehicle. Same shape, same height, same everything. I approached carefully, heart punching at my ribs. When I reached the driver's side, I lifted the flashlight. That's when I froze. The windows weren't tinted. They were blackened from the inside, as if someone had painted them with thick tar. No reflection, no outline, just matte darkness. I swallowed hard and tapped the glass. Tap, tap, tap. A second later, tap, tap, tap. Exact rhythm, exact pressure. Like the window was echoing me, or copying me. A cold, crawling feeling spread through my chest. I backed away slowly, keeping my eyes on that dead black window. That's when the car's engine growled, low, mechanical, like something inside was struggling to imitate the sound of a real motor. I spun toward my own car, ready to run, and my open driver's side window hissed with static. Then a voice, my voice, whispered through the speakers, "Get back inside. Keep driving. Don't look again." My knees nearly gave out. I didn't think, didn't breathe. I dove back into my seat, slammed the door, and floored it, tires screeching as the unmarked road swallowed me again. I kept my foot pressed to the floor, desperate to get away, but the car felt wrong, like the road was controlling the speed instead of me. The speedometer needle spasmed violently, jerking from 20 miles per hour to 90 miles per hour, then slamming back to 30 with no change in engine sound. The whole dashboard flickered. ABS light, oil light, battery light, all blinking in random bursts like a dying heartbeat. The fog thickened into a wall of silver. The farther I drove, the more the world outside the windshield blurred into one long smear of darkness. Then I saw it, a dead birch tree on the right side of the shoulder. Its trunk split, branches twisted like bones. A few seconds later, the same exact tree passed by again, and again, and again. The road wasn't taking me anywhere. I was stuck in a loop. My GPS, which had been frozen for miles, suddenly rebooted on its own, lighting up my whole interior with a cold blue glow. I didn't touch the screen. I didn't even breathe on it. Still, it loaded a fresh route. One message filled the display. "Turn around now." My skin crawled. Someone, or something, was overriding my system. I checked the rearview mirror on instinct. My stomach dropped. The other car, the one with blacked-out windows, was now inches from my bumper. Its headlights filled the entire mirror, so bright they looked like white-hot eyes staring into my back seat. Before I could react, a deafening metallic screech ripped through the night. The sound of two cars smashing at full speed. The whole frame of my car shook, but I never felt impact. Just light. Blinding white, burning light swallowing everything. Then, cut to black. I came to with my forehead pressed against the steering wheel. The engine silent. The world washed in pale dawn light. For a moment, I didn't even recognize where I was. Then I saw the familiar green interstate sign across the median. I was back on the real highway, the one I'd been on hours earlier. I checked the clock. 4:26 a.m., 3 hours gone. My seatbelt was unbuckled. My driver's door was cracked open, just enough for cold air to slip in. I stepped out on shaky legs and froze. The dirt along the shoulder was covered in footprints. Dozens of them. Bare feet, some small, some large, all circling my car like people had been standing around it, watching. My phone buzzed in my hand. 14 unread messages from my sister. 1:12 a.m. Where are you? 1:37 a.m. Pick up. 2:04 a.m. Are you okay? 2:28 a.m. Stop messing around. 3:01 a.m. Why are you sending me these pictures? 3:46 a.m. Please answer. My blood ran cold. I opened my sent folder. Dozens of photos. Blurred. Grainy. Each one worse than the last. Pictures of the unmarked road. The looping birch tree. The blacked-out car trailing inches behind me. And in the final few images, a figure standing in the fog behind my trunk. Tall, featureless. Leaning closer in each picture. I had no memory of taking any of them. I reported everything. The missing hours, the photos, the footprints. Doctors said it was micro-sleep, a long hallucination caused by exhaustion. But micro-sleep doesn't explain the pictures I never remembered taking, or the footprints circling my car, or why my GPS history showed a route to a place that doesn't exist. I quit night driving after that, switched to daytime deliveries, stopped taking rural detours, stopped trusting new exits. But the nights didn't stop coming for me, because once a week, always at 1:13 a.m., my phone vibrates. One new photo, no number attached. Just an image taken from inside a moving car, headlights stretching down that same silent, unmarked road. Every week the camera seems a little closer. Last night the latest picture arrived. It showed a silver sedan up ahead. Same dents, same plate, same missing hubcap. My car! Hand through the windshield. Me, hands on the wheel, eyes wide open. Driving somewhere I don't remember. I don't drive at night anymore. But some nights, something out there still drives me. I used to think I'd seen every kind of weird out on the highway. You work long shifts at a truck stop for 15 years. You hear things, phantom hitchhikers, cars with no drivers, headlights that disappear in the fog. But nothing ever came close to what happened to me on Highway 63. What followed me that night wasn't an animal. It wasn't a person, and I don't think it was anything built in this world. It was a quiet night, the kind where the sky feels too big and the road feels too narrow. I was heading home after a late shift, exhausted but alert enough to make the hour-long drive. The air was cold, the radio was low, and I hadn't seen another car for miles. At 1:50 a.m., I finally spotted headlights behind me, 2 small white dots far in the distance. Nothing unusual, but then they flickered. Bright, dim, dark, bright again, like someone was switching them on and off. Before I could get a good look, the headlights vanished completely. There was no exit they could have taken. No turn-offs. Nothing but empty farmland for miles. I slowed a bit, thinking maybe the car had pulled over. That's when the headlights reappeared, but not behind me. They were right next to me in the left lane. The other car matched my speed exactly, like it was glued to my side. I turned my head, and my stomach dropped. It was a matte black sedan. No brand, no badges, no plate. All 4 windows, perfectly black. Not tinted, blacked out from the inside like someone had painted over the glass. I felt a chill run up my spine. Something was wrong. Badly wrong. I tried calling my wife using the Bluetooth in my car, but the connection cut out. The radio started humming, a low, vibrating tone that made the hairs on my arms stand up. Without touching anything, my car doors locked themselves. I changed lanes to put distance between us. The blacked-out car shifted with me. Perfectly, instantly, no hesitation. I slowed down. It slowed. I sped up. It sped up. It never drifted, never wobbled, like it wasn't driving, like it was tracking me. I glanced into my side mirror, bracing myself for whatever I'd see. And what I saw, I still can't fully accept. There was no one behind the wheel, no silhouette, no movement. Just absolute darkness where a driver should have been. Not a shadow. Not low lighting, but a void. A hole punched into the world. My breath caught in my throat. That's when the hum in my speakers cracked and broke apart into a metallic whisper. Keep your speed. Stay in your lane. The voice wasn't coming from the other car. It was coming from inside my speakers. My entire body went cold. I shouted at the empty road, "What do you want from me?" For a moment the hum stopped. Then the whisper returned clearer. "Look ahead." Up ahead my exit appeared, the one that would take me right home. I'd never wanted to reach an exit so badly in my life. But as I drew closer, the blacked-out car accelerated, overtook me in a single silent movement, and swerved directly in front of the ramp, blocking it completely. I hit my brakes so hard my seatbelt dug into my chest. The two of us skidded to a halt, me inches away from slamming into its rear bumper. But the car didn't move. Its brake lights stayed dead. And in the glow of my headlights, the back window of the blacked-out car slowly rolled down. No motor sound. No movement inside. Just a rectangle of thick, impossible darkness opening like a doorway. Then something shifted inside that void. A faint outline, too tall, too thin. A face that wasn't shaped like any face I've seen. Right then my radio crackled again. "Do not exit. Not tonight." I couldn't breathe. Before I could react, the blacked-out car accelerated straight ahead, moving so fast it blurred, disappearing into the darkness like it was yanked by a cable. The road was empty again. Silent. Still. Like nothing had ever been there. My car unlocked its doors on its own. The hum died. The radio switched back to a cheerful commercial. The night suddenly felt normal again. But I wasn't fooled. My hands were shaking so badly I had to pull over. I grabbed my dashcam, rewinding the footage, desperate to prove to myself that I hadn't gone insane. The entire drive played back as pure black video. No road. No headlights. No engine noise. Just my own breathing. Fast, panicked, terrified. Except for one frozen frame. One single image the camera had somehow captured perfectly. The blacked-out car. Right beside mine. Window rolled down just enough to show that impossible darkness inside. The timestamp read 1:13 a.m. tomorrow. I stared at it until my eyes burned. Then I drove home with every light on. I never took that highway at night again. I asked my boss for day shifts, quit working weekends, started driving home before sunset like an old man. But the thing is, that night didn't end there. Once a month, always at 1:13 a.m., my phone buzzes with a notification. Dashcam event detected. Even though the dashcam is unplugged. Even though I'm asleep. Even though my car hasn't left the driveway. When I open the app, the newest clip is always the same. A blacked-out car in the left lane, keeping pace with the camera. Matching speed perfectly. No driver visible. And in the last second of every clip, the camera tilts toward me. As if whatever's recording wants to make sure I see myself. Sitting in the driver's seat. Hands on the wheel, eyes wide open. Driving somewhere I don't remember going. Sometimes I think the thing on Highway 63 wasn't trying to hurt me. Sometimes I think it was warning me. From whatever's still out there, looking through those windows. By the time I opened my eyes, the engine was still running, and my hazard lights blinked in eerie, steady flashes across the empty highway. I didn't remember pulling over. I didn't remember stopping the car at all. What froze my blood were the handprints, dozens of them, smeared across my windshield. Long streaks dragged downward, like something tried to pull the glass out of its frame. My phone lay in the passenger seat, flashlight on, still recording. When I pressed play, I heard myself whisper in a shaking, broken voice, "If I don't make it back, don't stop at mile marker 0. But I had no memory of saying it. And the video only made things worse, because it showed me stepping out of the car, and it never showed me coming back. I've been a construction supervisor for most of my life. Night driving is nothing for me. I've done thousands of miles between job sites, alone with nothing but AM radio and coffee keeping me awake. That night I was heading home late. Route 19, long rural stretch, no towns for miles. Clear weather, empty road. Just the hum of tires and the flicker of speed limit signs. Every trucker around here knows one stupid rumor. Don't look for mile marker 0. They say it doesn't exist anymore after the accident. No one can tell you which accident. Everyone claims they heard it from someone else. I always thought it was dumb folklore. That night, I just wanted to get home before 2 a.m. Around 1 a.m., I saw the mile markers counting down in the corner of my headlights. Mile 14, mile 13, mile 12. Everything normal. But at mile 1, something felt off. The next sign should have been a county border marker, or nothing at all. Except there was a sign. A rusted old metal post leaning sideways. Faded white paint barely visible in the dark. 0. My stomach tightened. There was no logical reason for this thing to be here. No map listed it. The DOT website didn't list it. As my headlights passed over it, my radio shifted into pure static. Then a whisper came through it, soft, shaky. "Stop the car!" My foot pressed harder on the gas. I drove past the sign and tried to convince myself it was a prank. Maybe an antique marker someone dug up and placed along the road. But the feeling wouldn't go away. That cold pressure in your chest when something doesn't belong. 5 minutes later, my headlights hit something again. The same crooked post. The same rust. The same faded painted number. 0. I slammed the brake. No. No way. I hadn't turned. I hadn't looped around. I'd driven straight, 5 minutes at 60 miles per hour, and yet here it was. I checked GPS. The map froze, then flickered. Then the entire screen went completely black. I restarted it. Nothing. I pulled out my phone, switched to Google Maps, stuck on buffer. That's when the radio hissed again with that same warped voice. "Stop the car." I killed the radio and kept driving. The next mile felt wrong in a way I can't put into normal words. The asphalt was too smooth. Perfectly smooth, like it had been laid down yesterday. No cracks, no gravel, no bumps. The trees leaned inward, bending above the highway like an archway. Branches didn't sway with the wind, because there was no wind. The silence felt thick, heavy, like sound wasn't allowed there. Then I noticed something else. A mile marker appeared on the shoulder, 0.3. I drove. After a minute, another sign, 0.3. Another minute, 0.3. Same dented sign, same bent post, same torn sticker. I checked my dash clock. It still said 1:13 a.m. I listened for insects. Nothing. For wind, nothing. Just the low hum of my own engine. Trying to calm down, I looked in my rearview mirror and nearly veered off the road. There was a car behind me. Same color as mine. Same make. Same missing hubcap. It stayed exactly 2 car lengths behind me, completely matching my speed. If I slowed, it slowed. If I sped up, it sped up. My pulse hammered in my throat. I was being followed by my own car. I forced myself to stay calm, pull over, and confront whoever the hell was messing with me. My tires crunched onto the shoulder gravel. The other car slowed, then stopped about 20 yards behind me. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped out. The night was too quiet. Not peaceful, wrong. I walked toward it, the beam of my flashlight shaking across the hood. All 4 windows were blacked out, not tinted, covered from the inside. My hand trembled as I tapped the driver's window. A split second later, tap, tap, tap. The exact same rhythm tapped back at me from inside. My throat dried instantly. My legs felt like they'd fold under me. I stepped backward, unable to breathe, when a voice crackled through my open car window. My own voice, but distorted, glitching. "Get back inside. Keep driving. Don't look again." I sprinted back to my car, slammed the door shut and floored it. I didn't dare check the mirror. Not once. I drove blind with panic. The speedometer glitched, slamming from 20 to 90 to 30 and back. Dashboard lights flickered violently. The road ahead seemed to stretch and compress, like the world was warping. I saw the same dead birch tree 3 times in a row. My GPS suddenly rebooted on its own and displayed a single line across the empty map. "Turn around now." I didn't. I kept going. A massive screech tore through the night. The metallic scream of 2 cars colliding. But I never felt impact. A bright white light swallowed the road. Then everything went black. When I came to, dawn light was spilling across a normal highway. My hazard lights blinked steadily. My heart hammered in my chest. 4:26 a.m. 3 hours gone. My seatbelt was unbuckled. My driver's door cracked open. Dirt and gravel showed footprints, bare feet, circling the entire car. My phone buzzed with 14 unread messages from my sister. "Where are you?" "Pick up." "Are you okay? Why are you sending me pictures?" My chest tightened. I opened my sent folder. Dozens of photos, all taken on that unmarked road. The looping birch tree, the impossible mile marker 0, the blacked-out car. And in the last few images, a figure standing in the fog behind my car. Tall, blurred, leaning closer in each frame. I had no memory of taking them. The police said I experienced micro-sleep hallucinations. Doctors said stress, dehydration, exhaustion. But micro-sleep doesn't explain the footage. It doesn't explain the footprints. It doesn't explain the way my voice came through the radio when the radio wasn't even on. I quit night driving entirely. But once a week, always at 1:13 a.m., my phone vibrates. A new photo. No number. Just a single image taken from inside a moving car, traveling that same unmarked road. Last night's picture nearly made me drop my phone. It showed my own car up ahead. Same dent, same missing hubcap. And through the windshield, me, hands on the wheel, eyes wide, driving somewhere I don't remember. I don't drive at night anymore. But some nights, something out there still drives me.